The paper is Opportunities for Optimism in Contended Main-Memory Multicore Transactions. Optimistic concurrency control, or OCC, can achieve excellent performance on uncontended workloads for main memory transactional databases. Contention causes OCC's performance to degrade. However, and recent concurrency control designs such as hybrid OCC, locking systems, and variations on multi-version concurrency control, that is MVCC, have claimed to outperform the best OCC systems. The paper evaluates several concurrency control designs under varying contention and varying workloads, including TPCC, and find that implementation choices unrelated to concurrency control may explain much of OCC's previously reported degradation. When these implementation choices are made sensibly, OCC performance does not collapse on high contention TPCC. Paper also presents two optimization techniques, commit time updates and timestamp splitting, that can dramatically improve the high contention performance of both OCC and MVCC. These techniques lead to performance gains of 3.4x for MVCC and 3.6x for OCC in a TPCC workload. Authors analyzed several main memory transaction systems, including Silo, DB1000, Cicada, Ermia, and MOCC, and found underappreciated engineering choices. They call them basis factors that dramatically affect these systems' high contention performance. For instance, some abort mechanisms exacerbate contention by obtaining a hidden lock in the language runtime. To better isolate the impact of concurrency control on performance, authors implement and evaluate three CC mechanisms: OCC, TikTok, and MVCC in a new system, STOV2, that makes good, consistent implementation choices for all basis factors. They show results up to 64 cores and for several benchmarks, including low and high contention TPCC, YCSB, and benchmarks based on Wikipedia and Rubis. With basis factors control, OCC performance does not collapse on these benchmarks even at high contention, and OCC and TikTok significantly outperforms MVCC at low and medium contention. This contrasts with prior evaluations which reported OCC collapsing at high contention and MVCC performing well at all contention levels. Now let's look at the contributions of the paper. The paper investigated three approaches to improving the throughput of main memory transaction processing systems under high contention, namely basis factor improvements, concurrency control algorithms, and high contention optimizations. Poor basis factor choices can cause damage up to and including performance collapse. Given good choices for basis factors, authors believe that high contention optimizations like commit time updates and timestamp splitting are arguably more powerful than concurrency control algorithms. CU and TS can improve performance by up to 3.6x over base concurrency control for TPCC, while the difference between unoptimized CC algorithms is at most 2x. Authors' code and benchmarks are available online at this repository under the VLDB20 tag. The URL is readablesystems.github.io/sto. Now let's give this paper a PS score. It's a dense read and might require multiple reads to understand the content, so it gets 5 out of 10. With 14 pages long, it gets 7 out of 10 on length. Since the authors shared the code and benchmark, the reproducibility might be easy, so it gets 9 out of 10. Industry value is questionable, as the workload set is limited, so it gets 7 out of 10. Learning meter is average, so it gets 6 out of 10. Overall PS score is 7 out of 10.